Welcome back to the next episode of the Gentleman of Style Show. I'm Baldwin.
And I'm Creech, and today we've got a great show for you guys. We got a comedy legend in the making.
No, a comedy genius in the making.
Oh, in the making?
In the making.
A genius.
I think you're already there, though.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm not going to dispute you.
Don't dispute me.
This my boy.
Hey, if it is what it is, it is.
It is what it is. You my boy, so I ain't going to dispute you.
All right, then. You know, you've been following this guy for a while and everything like that, and people love him. I mean, the white people even fight him. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Most definitely. So today for you guys on the Gentleman of Style Show, the none other, the clever, the witty, and if you have not followed his Instagram, go follow his Instagram, Mr. Shuler King himself.
Shuler King, come on. And everything.
Navigate and maneuver. Welcome to the Gentleman of Style Show.
Bro,
with the style.
Go ahead, you go first. I'm about to say it.
Look here, man.
This is a lively show.
Yeah. First thing I got to ask, man. This is a great ensemble. You're looking clever. You're looking debonair. Sharp as a tack.
Yeah.
Now, did you come up with this on your own?
Yeah.
Or did somebody give you some help?
I'm gonna tell you something. All right.
What?
I started wearing tuxedos back in '09, something like that. Cause young guys, like, you know, in my generation, they weren't doing it.
Exactly.
And another thing I like, you know, I love Sammy Davis Jr.
The
Rat Pack. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And my cousin Brooke Bentley was a singer. And, you know, back then everybody used to just wear the tuxedo look. So you know what I mean. I said, well, ain't nobody doing it. I'm no point in me reinventing the wheel. Let me go for this. And then the other reason that I did is it saves me money. I don't have to figure out what I'm gonna wear every night. That was the main reason. I can make an investment right here, and I can buy 2 of these, and I got something to wear every night. I don't have to figure this out.
Good.
Absolutely.
You know, you made a great point there, man, because people don't understand, man. You make an investment like that and everything, they don't understand the versatility that you can bring to those outfits and everything.
People don't get it.
They don't get
Clothes are an investment.
They're an investment.
And I don't care what field you're in. If you want to be the CEO, you got to dress the CEO
You got
part.
to dress CEO part. It's all about business. It's all business.
It's all
and
business.
everything. Don't mess with your money.
Another point too. I guess the third reason. When I was in college, I was the president of this organization called Bond. And when I became the president of this organization, another friend of mine, another frat brother of mine too, and Jamie Downs told me, he was like, yo, man.
You a medical?
Yeah, Cuban.
Medical certified.
Always, yeah. So what he told me, he was like, yeah, man, you know, I dress this way, da 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 da. He's like, when anybody walks into the room, if they don't know anybody in the room,
They don't know you.
they need to be able to look at me and say, that must be the president.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
No question.
Exactly.
and I took that same way of thinking, that same thought, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna use that. Like if I walk into a comedy club and I got a tuxedo on, not just a suit, but a tux, they would, anybody who, you don't know who's playing tonight. But if you see me walk in, you would think, he gotta be
Something.
somewhere on the ticket.
Yeah, he's doing something.
You know what I'm saying? So your expectations automatically change.
Right. They go up. They go right here.
Yeah.
They go right here.
Now this suit in particular, my lady bought it for me.
Oh, is that right?
And she bought this right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's got good taste.
Yeah.
Once again, there's no excuse for good taste. There's no excuse.
Anytime a woman can buy you something and other men look at you and say, hey, you tight in that. Keep that woman.
Keep
that woman.
Keep her.
That's it. Now, if she got some issues, you work through it. It's gonna be all right. That's all I'm saying.
We can get through the hard times.
And ladies love suits.
They do.
Yeah. And on top of that, you can't be successful if women don't like you.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
If you followed us and watched some of our stuff, we've got another a moniker that we normally say: real women prefer gentlemen of style.
Oh man, okay.
You know,
we locked in now. Welcome to Gentlemen of Style. We locked in.
Yeah, we really locked
we
in.
locked in now. Okay.
But it's true.
It's true.
You said a mouthful.
It's
Think
very
about
true.
this. How many successful men, other than the men that prefer men, that's something different. We're not talking about that. But men who have a success about them, they have great women in their corner, whether it's their mother, their sister, the girl, the women, they give you that.
Right.
And they boost you to another level. It just is what it is.
And speaking about success and feeling that and everything, how do you feel about your rise? Because you're not from zero. You're at a certain place right now.
Yeah.
And everything. How are you feeling about where you're at right now?
I'm enjoying the ride. You know, I guess, I from the outside looking in, I really don't know. I think people see it bigger than what I see it.
Right.
And I think it's because I was here for the whole ride.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I know what's under the foundation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not just the I know what's even under there. You know what I mean? I was there I know what it is, and I haven't forgotten about anything that I've had to deal with, the sacrifices I made, the hard work, late nights, and, the early mornings, all of that stuff. So I feel, I'm thankful. But I see that I got a long way to go, though. Do
you feel like some people in the industry, not necessarily the industry that you're in, but industry in general, when they're getting into the limelight, that they forget about being humble in certain degrees?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You've seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it, but it's mind-boggling to me because I met celebrities that were broke. So
I can believe that.
So I wonder sometimes, like, where's this arrogance coming from? Right. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
like what are you arrogant about?
Right.
Your ass is broke.
Right.
Like I'm trying to figure, because you know what I'm saying?
No.
And I mean, even if you're not having money or whatever the case may be, that's not a reason to be arrogant towards people. You're always, I'm big on humility,
right,
and all that other stuff. Really big on humility. But I've seen people, kind of switch up, but it's, that's just on them.
No, and that was one of the things I liked about you. You have that level of gratitude about you and everything. You're not like boasting over the top or anything like that.
Let's go back and. Where did it come from? Let's go back a little bit with the Shuler King start. So how did you get your start in the whole comedy game?
Okay, I say this all the time. I credit my mother for my foundation. Because she used to make us do these Easter speeches. And
I've done them. I hated Easter
doing the Easter speeches. I mean, like, if there was anything that I couldn't stand anymore, it was doing Easter speeches. And I remember one Sunday, I worked up enough nerve to ask my mother, like, man, why do you make us do this? Like, you don't ask us if you want to do. I did.
You got more balls than me. I never asked that question.
Listen, because that's how much I hated doing it.
I ain't like
because I was just like, why do we, And what she said to me was, it's important for you to know how to get up and speak in front of people.
True.
And the next thing I said, I didn't say it to her. I got in the car, my brother and my sister were in the car, and I said, man, I don't know what I'm going to do when I grow up, but it's not going to be getting up and speaking in front of people. So that was the foundation. Fast forward, I'm like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
People always telling me that I'm funny. I was working part-time in a music store. This guy named Ike, he's a promoter, he's handing out flyers. That's how long ago this was.
Yeah.
He's handing out flyers, and he hands me a flyer. I see it's a comedy club thing, and I've been, people have been telling me, and I've been kind of considering doing it. Well, I had made up in my mind I was gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
And when I did that, that's when he shows up out of nowhere promoting. I'd never met a comedy promoter, none of this. So I start asking him a bunch of questions like, what about comedy? How did you become it? And he was like, you a comedian? Before I could say no, the girl I was working with was like, yes. Because she was one of the people that kept saying, you need to be, So he was like, all right, well, he wrote his number down on the flyer and said, whether you make up your mind whether you are or you not, give me a call, I'll put you on the show. So I called him the next day, and he was like, all right, man, I gave you 3 minutes. And I was nervous from that point on. I hung up the phone, I was like, what the hell did I do? So, and out of nowhere, after I got off the phone, I just started writing. Never written a joke before, but I just started writing. And then, come the day of the show, I was nervous as hell, but I did my 3 minutes. I did pretty good. And got on since then. Yeah.
Sweet. That's awesome.
But furthermore, I had to, because I'm from Sumter, South Carolina.
Yeah.
So
We're very familiar with Sumter.
Oh yeah?
At least I am. I
wow.
go far from there, so.
Yeah, I think you told me that.
Yeah, North Carolina,
okay.
Myrtle Beach, all that,
But-
everything, Sumter.
So,
Down there.
but after that, I had to drive 2-3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, different places to pursue because there was no comedy clubs in Sumter.
Right.
So I had to drive to the Comedy House and then drive to the Comedy Zone and drive to Uptown. You know what I mean? Certain places. In some places, I didn't know anything about. You can go to the comedy club, put your name on the list, but they may or may not call you. So I even drove 4 hours.
Right.
But you may not.
And you still may not get called.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Right,
So, I drove to New York. I drove to California. I mean, I was just really
From Sumter, South
yeah. From Sumter, South Carolina to San Diego, California.
At what point? Because to do all that, there had to be a point where you said, "I love this. This is me."
Yeah.
Was there a point that you realized this is me?
And I had to follow up after that.
There was a lot of things that happened that let me know that I was in the right place. A lot of things. Like I said, I was in college. I was a freshman in college when it first started. And I remember I was a senior in college when this particular event happened. They kept, same frat brother, Jamie, was asking, before we were frat brothers, asking me, he was like, yo man, we got this Apollo thing, da-da-da-da. I want you to, just do 5 minutes of comedy. And I was like, nah, because it's finals.
Yeah.
And I don't have my stuff together. I had this project done. I'm like, man, listen, I got a project to do. I got to study. I am not trying to do no comedy. I got to be in the lab, da-da-da-da.
I'm trying to
graduate.
Yeah, I'm trying to graduate. So he calls me and was like, man, I just need you to come and just do 5 minutes. So I was like, man, I can't do it. He's like, all right, fine. I go to class. For some reason, now wait, I back up. I was down to my last $20.
That'll do it.
I don't even think I was down to my last $20. I was praying for $20. That's what it was. I was asking God. I was like, if you could just give me $20, I'll stretch it out until I graduate. And God, I'm like,
how many more weeks
I can
did you have to
stretch it. I don't know. I'm not sure, but
That's all you need.
I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
how
it was all with God, but go ahead.
it was a scene out of I was like it was a come to Jesus me, like, God, you know me. You know I'm good for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just give, if I can find twice, I don't care, on the street, anything, to $20. So I go to class after telling Jamie no all them times. I go to class and something said, I'll go do the show. So after class, I called James, hey man, listen, I'll go ahead and do it, man. I'll go ahead and do it. I didn't even know what I was going to talk about. Like, I had no idea what I was going to say. I walk all, I went to University of South Carolina. It's a big campus.
Yeah.
I'm walking all the way over there. I'm cussing myself out. I'm like, why did I tell him? I know damn well I need to be over here. I'm walking over there. I get there, and I'm still cussing myself out because I don't even know what I'm going to say. Nonetheless, I get up there. I have an incredible 5 minute set. And it's all off the top of the head. So I grab my bags, leave. I run all the way to the lab, finish the project in time because it was due that day, of course.
Right, of course.
And then Jamie calls me. He was like, "Hey man, where are you?" I said, "Man, I'm in the lab. I told you, I got to get stuff, I finished done, man. He was like, "All right, well, you might want to get back here. You just won $100." So now I'm running back over there. You know what I'm saying?
We good.
You know what I mean?
That's
So,
right.
Good.
yeah. So, and it was like, that was the first, well, maybe not the first, but one of the inclinations of God telling me, listen, I'm going to feed you with this.
Right.
You just stay in the pocket.
Right.
You just do what you do, and trust me, I gave you something that's going to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? So that was my first inclination, like, I can make money with it? From talking?
And being me.
Yeah. So, that was one of the things.
Check this out.
You forgot your question, didn't you?
No, I did not forget my question. I have a joke for you. You tell me if it's a good joke or not.
Good night.
Thank you for doing it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
This guy right here.
Okay.
You ready? 3 ducks walk into a bar.
Hell no.
It's funny. It's already funny.
All right.
It's already funny.
No.
3 ducks walk into a bar, right? It's a duck bar, okay?
Yeah.
That's where ducks hang out at. 3 ducks walk into a bar. They go to the bar and they say, "Hey,
He's laughing.
Let me get a drink." Is that wrong? To laugh at my own joke.
Yeah, it's wrong. But go ahead.
Okay. All right. 3 ducks walk into a bar. Yo, get a drink. Bartender say, "We don't serve your kind around here." One duck says, "What do you mean you don't serve my kind?" Bartender says, "We don't serve ducks." Second duck says, "Ducks? Do we look like ducks to you?" Bartender says, "If it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, must be a duck." So third duck says, "You man."
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't encourage.
That's funny.
It was no. It was.
Don't encourage
It was, it was funny to watch. That's what it was.
Yeah, don't encourage him, man.
Mike, we about
Yeah,
to go to-
it was absolutely painful for me. It was absolutely painful for me.
When I launched my career, how good was that?
Oh
Was that-
man,
what
listen,
do you
we
think?
putting you up tonight.
This is good and horrible. Look, you keep your half a day job. We're not doing this no more. Embarrassing us over here.
Oh,
that was just horrible.
we did that time. If I had a whistle.
Yeah, you should have stopped. I told you to say no.
Technical.
Even look, you know what? Look, it's the gentleman style show. You should have just said.
Let me just say for the record, these is 2 successful brothers. You know what I'm saying? I've been to this man's house. You know what I'm saying? He don't need to tell no damn jokes.
He don't need to ever tell no joke.
All broadcast, nothing.
But let me go back to this though. Just touch base on this real quick. So you did that. When did the Shuler King become born? Like, when did you take the moniker Shuler King? When was the Shuler King born?
Oh man, I really don't know. I think it was.
Well, tell us where you got the name from. Maybe we.
Well, I grew up on the street that I grew up on was called Shuler Drive.
Ah.
So I took that and I was like, you know what? This is where I'm from, and I have a strong belief in God. So that's where the King comes from. I just put it together.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's absolutely.
Yeah. So King ain't me.
Do you ever bring? Okay,
We all kings out here. You just gotta believe in that growth and that.
But that
belief.
particular one.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah.
we're getting close to our time period here, so I want to ask you just a couple questions.
Yeah.
Mortuary business.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's
You
get
grew up in
into
the
it.
mortuary business.
I absolutely did. Still in it. Yeah.
Still in the mortuary business. Does your comedy? I mean, I haven't officially. This has been my first night really seeing you officially on stage, other than the stuff that I viewed on the web. Does your comedy? How does your mortuary experience? Affect your comedic experience?
I dropped a few last night. You know what I mean? I talk about it a little bit when I had time. I can tell stories. You know what I'm saying? Talk about a couple things. Like there was a time I was watching the phones at the funeral home, and I'm just watching phones, and somebody called trying to sell Viagra.
Are we still talking about the mortuary business? What are we talking about right now?
No, I'm saying.
What are we talking about?
I was at the
Where we going?
I was at the funeral home. I answered the phone, said Williams Funeral Home.
And you said that.
And they proceeded to try to sell the Viagra.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna give you. That's
Well, that's
one
crazy.
of the, you know what I mean?
That joke sells itself.
Exactly. I can't make this up.
Viagra can get you in the mortuary.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Can't make it up. I couldn't make it up if I wanted to.
That's pretty good.
That's comedy. That's comedy greatness.
At its finest. God writes these jokes.
And speaking of comedy greatness, what are the comics out there after you got into it, even maybe before, but that you looked at and say, yo, let me kind of look at these guys. Let me study these guys a little more. Are there any guys out there that you look at?
Who's your inspiration? Who inspired you?
The greatest inspiration.
Older, current?
Yeah, the greatest inspiration was Richard Pryor.
Oh yeah.
And I know that so many people say it's almost like a cliche, but the first comic that I actually sat down alone in a room and watched really was Richard. I said to myself, I was like, I had a VHS tape, and I said, so many people probably done stole his jokes or whatever, then I would just watch this and because I had no idea how funny Richard was, and this was before I started doing comedy, and I just remember sitting in the room and not being able to breathe for about 45 minutes. Like that's and that's how funny he was, and I was just like, and then when I got into comedy, I started looking at him and Eddie Murphy and but see, I grew up in the Comic View era, so the Barbara Carlyles, the Cedrics, the DLs and all those were like my Richard Prizes, because a guy in my generation, I would have to do a little bit of digging to find Richard, but they were right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Doug Williams, all these other guys, you know what I'm saying? They were right there. Bruce, and these were the you know what I'm saying, were the ones. These were the ones who introduced comedy into my world. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then later on, I found Richard and was like, oh man, who in the hell? You know what I mean? He was making stuff funny that I didn't even know what he was talking about, but it was funny.
Well, I think a lot of times, like with Richard, he taught us to like go outside of our boundaries to a degree. Where you thought stuff was supposed to be PC to a degrry, he got raw.
Well, he pushed it, and Bernie Mac was a big influence.
True that.
Bernie Mac. A lot of people say, and I don't like. People say I remind them of, like, I hear on the net, be like, you remind me so much of Bernie Mac, and I don't do it on purpose. Like, if I remind you of somebody, I just remind. I get Bernie Mac, Robin Harris, and all that other stuff. But I'm being me. Right. But I remember when I was still doing open mic, and I did open mic for like 5 years. But when I was doing open mic, a comedian by the name of CJ Entertainer Extraordinaire was what he went by. I was doing open mic, and he was the headliner for the night. And he watched my set, and he pulled me to the side and said, "Man, you funny." He's like, "You're gonna be great," but he's like, "You got to use everything." He was like, "Your jokes are funny, but you have to learn how to use them." He said, do yourself a favor and go back and look at Bernie Mac and just find physical guys who are physically funny." Right. He's like, "Man, you got big eyes, man. You got to use that." He's like, "Look how Bernie uses his eyes." So I went back and I actually looked at.
Oh, you talking about exaggerate more of everything? Yeah.
No, they're saying the show stuff. I ain't got to be on stage just yet, but but it might get a little noisy.
The great part about this for the Gentleman of Style show, we get a chance to have great people on our show such as this. He's doing this prior to him stepping on stage. Yeah. So he's gonna leave us.
Get shit out the way.
Yeah. So he's gonna leave us, and then he's gonna hit the stage. So we got to make sure he get a chance to prepare, sit back and do what he do. He get prepared to hit the stage.
He's got to get in his Zen state.
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap this thing up. Definitely want to say thank you, my brother, for taking the time before your show, hanging out with us, getting into our friends, our family, your friends, your family. So it's a great thing, and you look great.
Not a problem. Hold on, before we wrap this up, we need to stand up because everybody's sock game is kind of special right now. You know what I mean?
We're gonna put it out there.
Yeah, just go ahead. I was looking at mine, and you was looking at this. Yeah, I was looking at this. I like those.
The sock game.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to put that out there.
I'm gonna do our advertising while our socks is up here. We got this little thing like that. Y'all all gonna see it and everything. Ballandcreek.com. Don't go there right and everything. You know it's live. But anyway,
we got that coming.
We got a thing. It's called busy socks because it's business socks and everything. We got the black, but they busy as hell. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They look good like that.
Okay, busy. I got that. There's a
whole lot of stuff that y'all
I just recognize, the sock game was on point.
Only the cool people understand that.
They'll get it. They'll understand.
They'll understand.
But
it's for the boardroom.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in on another episode of the Gentleman Style Show. Go ahead and take us out like you normally do.
Once again, like we always say, there's no excuse for good taste, and at the Gentleman of Style Show, we believe in better.
Salute.
See you next week.
And we out.
Appreciate you, my brother.
No problem.
Great show.
Man. All right,
Great
bro.
show.